Hello and welcome to Security and Safety Today. This is the professionals, and this also is the concluding part of what we started in the last episode. We are looking at fraud and corruption. It is interesting for you to know that it's not just corruption is not just in the public sector or government sector, but it's everywhere, down even to families of today. Everybody seems to be corrupt. As a matter of fact, even to the child in the womb, seems to have a little bit of corruption, because once that child is out, he seems to know what is right and wrong, and sometimes might want to go out of his way to do one or two things. But on this episode, we will be giving the solutions. Of course, we also look at the reasons why this is so rampant. This is becoming a regular thing. This has eaten so deep into the fabric of society, and of course, a check on it. What government needs to do outside some of the measures and agencies that it has set in place to curb fraud and corruption. At the same time, we will also look at why technology is becoming a problem when other countries are making use of technology to curb fraud and battle corruption in their countries. We will look at all that in this concluding part of the program, the Security and Safety Today. My guests are still very much here. They were here for the previous episode, and they will be concluding with me this time around. He is an author and also a security consultant. He's James Akpenino. Thanks so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you,
welcome back to the show.
It's my pleasure.
And of course, the CEO of Security Plus Limited, Igodalo Sazua. He's also here to help us out and conclude on the topic today. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay, so let me start with you now. We talked about, we've told our viewers what corruption is and why it has gotten to this level and a whole lot. I just wanted to do a recap of it for those who actually didn't start with us in the previous episode. Let's just look at a quick, brief definition, 1 or 2 words of what corruption is and what we discussed in the last episode.
I remember in the last episode we tried to define corruption as a spoiling, as a decay, as a perversion, but I still stick to my own definition of using your position, abuse of office. When you abuse your office, you are a pastor, you play on the intelligence of the congregation, you use your office to extort those vulnerable people. That is corruption. It's everywhere. So then I remember we tried to talk about how it started, or why is this so rampant, and I did say that in the 60s there was decorum. There was families had integrity. You are looked upon in the society. You cannot go to a family if there is an armed robber in your family. Nobody comes there to marry. Neither can you go to go and look for a wife within that community. No, it's a taboo. We didn't have people that were so selfish. It was based on what you contribute to the society that you get.
So let's look at some of the reasons now for fraud and corruption. Why I would want to defraud a company, why I would want to add 2 zeros to the other 3 zeros and make it triple. Why all that?
Well, greed. People want to live above the level which they are supposed to be living. That's 1. Then 2, poverty. 3, laziness. A lot of people are very lazy. I like adding laziness because because I know that a lot of people will say, it's because of poverty. But poverty is relative. In a place like Nigeria, it's difficult to find somebody who is totally poor, except he doesn't have a family. These same people we call poor people, tell them to go and farm. They will not farm. But meanwhile, if they farm, they will be able to eat.
Yes.
So, the reason for fraud, actually, is greed.
What should be the role of government in checking these things?
No.
Aside the fact that they have institutions, the institutions just seem to be as the figureheads. What else can we do? We are in the private sector. What can we do?
Okay, because when you say government, it becomes subjective. Who is the government? Everything government. Government, you mean the president should come on the streets and begin to advise everybody to behave normally, to do things the way it should be done? The orientation, before this program, I was talking to my friend. I said, we need education. I was trying to define education, the intellectual, but he said no, that the Nigerian, the African intellect is even more than education. I said yes, because there are even some doctors, some professors who are illiterate. What we are discussing now about security, some of them just believe that security is the physical protection aspect alone. They don't know that security is a multiplicity. We are talking of violence. The food security, if there's food, you won't go violent. If there's environmental security, there won't be violence in the Niger Delta. If there's health security, HIV/AIDS. But people just look at security as national security. They look at security as the policeman. They look at security as defense, as the soldier, which is no. So there has to be a holistic approach to solving these issues.
Well, it's very interesting. This is one issue that we can talk now until tomorrow. But we just have to end the show. And in your word, we know we cannot totally remove corruption or fraud or stop it. But somehow we can bring it down to the BRS minimum, where we can at least raise our shoulders high and say, yes, corruption is 1 or 2% in Nigeria. Well, just like my guests have said, it's a collective effort, not just the government. And of course, we are so happy here that even the government agencies are watching this show. And as such, it's a big challenge to you, and we're expecting to see a better and cleaner Nigeria. Let's get rid of fraud and corruption. Let's put cases on social media. Let's bring Nigerians into it. Let's everybody know about what is happening in government. Let's carry everybody along. And we are very sure that in due course, Transparency International will have no cost to be giving Nigeria any rank in form of fraud or corruption as it is. A big thank you to my guest, Mr. James Akpenino, who is an author and also a security consultant. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And of course, the CEO of Security Plus Limited, who has also been here to help us out on the topic. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. That's the person of Ighodalo Sazowa. And big thank you to everybody behind production. Keep your emails, your comment, phone calls, keep them coming. We will attend to it and, of course, give you back the response. I am Itohoimo Edet. Bye for now.